The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello. It's always so nice to close a plenary in a way. It's quite emotional in normal circumstances because, of course, you look down on the crowd and see the faces of the people that you saw during the opening, that you've had a chat to over the week, that you've heard and know all the connections and things that have taken place. So it's emotional more than anything now because, of course, as you know, we were forced to cancel the 15th virtual plenary meeting at the last minute, about a week before, less than a week before we were due to start on the 18th to the 20th of March. We would have been co-located with C3DIS at the wonderful Melbourne Convention and Exhibition Centre, hosted by CSIRO and supported by ARDC. Sadly, but the wise but difficult decision was made to cancel the physical plenary. But in the space of a very, very short time, we were able to facilitate a virtual plenary from the 18th of March to the 10th of April. And I'd like to share a few of the statistics of the plenary with you. The original 15th plenary would have had 355 registrants at the time when we cancelled. We had scheduled 65 different parallel breakout sessions across 7 parallel timings, 5 keynote speeches, 1 panel session, and over 60 posters. As has happened for the last couple of editions of our plenaries, the Technical Advisory Board and the Organisational Assembly put together some plenary pathways to help the attendees navigate a little through that rich programme that we had for the 3 days. The topics like Indigenous data, global perspectives, underpinning infrastructure, the FAIR agenda emerged, and of course would have been a great navigation tool for the plenary. And I'd like to thank the people who put a lot of work into preparing that. The virtual plenary took place, as I said, started on the 18th, and we had 2 keynote addresses from the first one from Priyanka Pillai from the University of Melbourne on the role of data in a rapid and coordinated response to infectious disease outbreaks. 170 people registered to that. Both the slides and the recording are available from the programme. Priyanka subsequently very kindly agreed to be one of the 6 co-chairs of our COVID-19 working groups that are ongoing now in our fast-track response to this emergency. The second keynote that we have available for you from the virtual programme, to which 90 people registered, was from Dr. Kathy Foley, who is the Chief Scientist of CSIRO, our host for the plenary. And she told us about many things around the data, and if data is the new oil, will it mean we will have regrets in decades to come? So I invite you to take some time to look at those sessions or those recordings online. In terms of the virtual sessions, well, of the 65 that we originally had, 34 individual unique sessions actually ran, 45 virtual sessions overall, which means that obviously, if you can do your maths, probably better than me, some sessions did multiple versions to facilitate different time zones across the world. So that was very much appreciated by the community. We had in total, so we facilitated the breakouts on the Zoom rooms, kindly provided to us by RNet, and the webinars were run on GoToWebinar. 270 people registered for the keynotes, and 1,900 different registrations were captured for the virtual breakout sessions, which translates to 900 people, individuals, who attended the virtual sessions over the 3 weeks. Yesterday, we organised 3 virtual coffee breaks to have drop-ins for people who wished to connect with their peers, with other people, We ran them over 3 different timings for 3 different time zones, and I participated in 2 of them, and I enjoyed them very, very much. We also ran a virtual poster session from the 30th of March to the 9th of April. There were 32 posters. You can see a few snapshots of them there on the side of the screen. They had a geographical coverage of about 16 countries. And all 32 of the posters are available with details and the poster itself on the web link that you see on the screen. We did have a prize and a voting for the plenary poster session, the virtual poster session, and indeed we have a winner. The winner is the missing data, the relationship between legal requirements and open research data. And that was prepared by Katerina, who you see there in the picture. And Katerina told us that she was looking forward to a lively exchange on the topic and possible support from the RDA community in conducting her upcoming surveys as part of her research, and that the results of her research she feels would be of great interest to several of the working groups. So I invite you to connect with Katerina via the web platform if you wish, or her contact details are indeed on the poster, and the URL for the poster is on the screen there. These slides are available for all of you to access and download. I thank Katerina for being involved. I'm sorry that she wasn't able to be present physically in Melbourne to present the poster to us, but it was great that people interacted with so many of the poster presenters, and Katerina was deemed the winner. So congratulations, and we'll be informing you about your prize, Katerina, in due course. Of course, as I mentioned, the virtual plenary was converted from a physical event for which a considerable amount of time and effort goes into, as you will imagine, to run a 3-day event with all the co-located events and different meetings that happen around it. In the space of 3 days, we were able to put online a virtual program, which was also with the great help of many of you who decided to run virtual sessions. But in order to do this in the future and to take stock from this massive experiment, we need your feedback. It is fundamental. We have 2 surveys open at the moment, one for the session chairs and conveners, and one for the attendees and the participants. Over the last few years, I've received a lot of feedback about the plenaries, a lot of questions about carbon footprint, a lot of comments about difficulty in travelling, etc. We were forced to do this experiment, which I would deem very successful, and I'm very proud of the community and the Secretariat and all the governance bodies who supported this and our local hosts. But in order to decide what components we could do, how we could run a plenary in the future, we really need your feedback. We will be collecting the feedback through those 2 surveys. The Secretariat, who are very much involved in the organisation of this, we will collate all the information, including our own feedback, into a lessons learned document so that we can learn, improve and modify. But what we would like to tell you is that once this lessons learned document is ready, we will be opening it and sharing it to all to reuse. I'm not aware of any other organisation who was able to turn around their complete physical meeting planning into a complete virtual event in the space of time that we did it. Many things we can improve, we understand that. Many things we had not tested before, but we feel that many other organisations would benefit from our experiences, and we would like to share them with them. I would like to thank, from the bottom of my heart, Commonwealth Scientific and Industrial Research Organisation, CSIRO. They were our hosts. We were so excited to be teaming up with them in Australia to host the plenary in Melbourne, and worked together for many, many months. I want to thank them on behalf of everybody for their hard work, the financial and human resources that they invested all this time, and we're clearly indebted to you. A special shout out to Brendan Dalton, to Cynthia Lowe for their great support, but also a huge team of people who were there behind. And as you can see in the bottom part of the screen on the slide, CSIRO actually in February already had reconstructed the coronavirus and are now testing it in one of their secure labs to help in the race to identify a vaccine. So I do hope that we'll have an opportunity to work with CSIRO in the future. Our Australian data RDA champions, what could we do without the Australian Research Data Commons? Thank you so much for everything that you did. I had a wonderful tour in Australia last year, facilitated and supported by you, ARDC, to ramp up and prepare to have the event in Melbourne. I'm very sorry that we were not able to fulfill our dream of having our first plenary in Australia. We will come back. I am positive about that. We will organise events there in the future that may be on a different level. I'm very grateful to all of ARDC, but a particular thank you to Rosie Hicks, the CEO, to Andrew Treloar, who is our Technical Advisory Board co-chair, and to Stephanie Keathers, who's the Director of Operations of the Research Data Alliance Secretariat, who really did phenomenal work over the last year and particularly in the last couple of weeks for the virtual plenary. Our virtual plenary was run on Zoom rooms facilitated by RNet. RNet is Australia's academic and research network. In less than 3 hours after we decided to cancel and change, they agreed wholeheartedly to provide us with a series of parallel Zoom rooms, but not just the infrastructure, but also huge technical support. Our virtual plenary would not have been possible without the huge support of RNet, and I am truly grateful to all of you for that. Conference Design were our wonderful professional conference organiser, and we worked very well together all these months. They put a lot of hard work, diligence and dedication into the organisation and are still working hard to manage the refunds, the costs and all the different suppliers and things that they have around it. So thank you, Conference Design. I'm sorry we didn't see the realisation of all the wonderful support and logistics that you had prepared for us in Melbourne. The co-chairs and session conveners, as I said at the beginning, we had 65 sessions originally planned, and they were all the fruit of hard work by the session conveners and the co-chairs, as well as the Technical Advisory Board. And then they were changed, and 34 sessions were run. But that means a complete change in the way you structure your session. I heard lovely feedback about creativity, interactiveness, how they were engaging they were. So I know that it was a hard work to prepare a completely different meeting environment, and it's very, very much appreciated. My final thanks go to the amazing Secretariat, who always work above and beyond the call of duty. However, I have to say in this particular case, they spent endless nights preparing for a physical meeting with contingency plans for many different scenarios, and then we had to scrap all of that and start on a virtual plenary. They never complained. Late nights, early mornings, everything. So I'm wonderfully grateful to each and every one of them. A particular shout out to Stephanie, Yolanda and Alex, who invested most of their time and were the main coordinators of the plenary, the virtual plenary. All the other people you see on the screen now supported hugely as well. So thank you, Secretariat. I'm a very lucky person to have a team like that to work with me, and I believe that the community knows how lucky they are with the support that they give on a daily basis, but particularly in extraordinary times. Of course, we have other plenaries planned, so don't forget that Costa Rica is still scheduled for the 10th to the 12th of November. We don't know at this moment in time what that means. We are planning lots of different scenarios for Costa Rica, virtual plenaries, combinations of both. We're not sure, but we will keep you informed about it as updates come. We also have a plenary planned for next year in 2021 in April in Edinburgh. And again, for the same thing, keep the dates in your diary, watch out for updates on virtual, physical, and how we were going to manage that. And just last week, in the midst of all of this, we also announced the International Data Week 2021 event that will take place on the 8th till the 11th of November in Seoul, the Republic of Korea. The International Data Week, for those of you who may not heard of it, is our combined and joint effort where we coordinate and co-organise with CODATA and WDF of the International Science Council and organise a wonderful week of events cover on all things data. We will be hosted by Kirsty, Chris and the SSU, and we are very much looking forward to that. And again, updates will be coming along over the coming weeks, months. But finally, thank you to you, the RDA community. I've always known and always feel very proud to represent you as a community. But these particular circumstances, I think, have shown me, and I believe many other people, even more, what a dedicated, passionate group of people you are. The COVID-19 experience, with more than 400 people volunteering and wanting to get involved, volunteer time. The RDA is powered by the people. The plenaries are powered by the people. 900 people participating in a virtual plenary. That's phenomenal. RDA is powered by the people. It's powered by you, and I'm truly grateful. I hope we will see each other again very soon. And in the meantime, I send you my best wishes. Goodbye.